Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1029 of the daily content grind. I question it because, well, to be honest, I'm recording a lot of these out of order, and I'm not, as I record it right now, I'm not entirely sure what order they will fall in. You've probably guessed the fact that I've had a lot of recording today because I'm still wearing the Mario Kart shirt, but things have to be done so I can leave this channel unattended while I'm at MetroCon, so we march on, and this time we're going to be looking at 2 more episodes of Transformers Earthspark. I still really like this cartoon, even though I know a lot of you are not going to give it a chance. That's entirely your choice. Fine, I still think it's fun. So I'm going to continue to talk about it, and we're going to talk about the next episode, which is Control-Alt-Delete, episode 3 of Season 2. This one deals in the cleanup of Ghost. So we have a framing plot of the Autobots reconditioning the base in order to be a new full home base. So the Ghost base is still intact, but they are now using it for their own facilities. So they're replacing all the Ghost emblems with Autobot symbols, etc. Everyone has removed their Ghost emblems, including Megatron, who's wearing a Decepticon emblem, unapologetically, but okay. Point being, this deals into a lot of the cleanup from Season 1, which includes a bunch of leftover Mandroid bots that have to be fought at the recycling center, which is a cool way of like showing us just what happened to all that old tech. It's not as simple as just, oh, well, we beat Mandroid, time to call it a day. Nope, still a little bit to go. This also involves the decommissioning of all the Ghost vans, and this is actually the more significant part because that means that hashtag's alt mode is no longer one in a crowd. It is no longer, it's going to be unique. And if they're putting Ghost away for good, that means she is due for a new alt mode, which I like for 2 reasons. Number 1, we haven't seen anyone change alt modes in this series so far, so it's good to know they can do it. We know Bumblebee has done it in the past, but this is the first time we've actually gotten to see it happen. But more to the point, when hashtag first chose her alt mode, she was not really focused yet on like her. She was, if I remember right, she was gaming in the middle of it, and she kind of just scanned whatever, and it ended up being the Ghost van. But this time she actually gets to put thought into it and choose. Now she actually wants to put effort into it, and it's a good thing to show. Not only because it's kind of a significant thing in this universe. It's far more significant of a choice than it used to be in Transformers, but it gives us a hashtag episode, which I think after Season 1 we sorely needed. I really like the idea of focusing on her for this one. Now, she also does have a little bit more going on than just a new alt mode. She also has a new UI, which includes Val, which is now essentially her Jarvis, someone she can communicate her needs to. So rather than going into her mindscape and like hitting all of the iPad buttons that she did in Season 1, now she actually has an assistant to do all of that for her that can talk back to her. But it is also kind of a device so that hashtag can be on her own and still have someone to talk to. And it works out fairly well. So the big thing here is that hashtag is undecided in what the alt mode should be. We're kind of back to the same thing Jawbreaker went through, but we're not going to drag it out like Jawbreaker. So she knows what she wants. The problem is she wants everything. She constantly overthinks everything that she wants this alt mode to have because she wants it to be able to do literally everything. And she can't calm herself. She's so excited over it now. She can't calm herself down long enough to really focus and figure out what the alt mode actually needs to be. So the course of the episode, this continues on. And there's a little detail I like in that her existing body gets rougher and rougher. Like, you could see a lot of wear and tear on it just at the beginning of the episode. And then by the time we get to, like, 2/3 of the way through, before she picks the new alt mode, She's grimy, she's muddy and dirty. Like, they've actually kind of, like, made it a point to put her current body through the works before they switch it up and change her form. It's a nice little, like, casual way of, like, showing, like, yeah, it's time for this one to go. Because this is Earthspark, it's a wholesome talk with Mom that helps her figure things out. Dorothy's point is, you don't have to be everything all at once. Sometimes it's okay to just be what you need to be, and the next time you're ready to change, maybe then try to, figure out a few new things. But you don't have to do it all at once, which is not a bad lesson, and I can remember going through school as a kid thinking, like, I'm getting so much put on me all at the same time, especially through high school where they're expecting you to choose, like, the rest of your future in those 4 years. There is some things here that a kid could relate to. So I kind of like that. You don't have to do it all at once. You can choose what's important now or what you need to be now. It does eventually lead to her choosing her new alt mode, which is a very modern and very sleek pickup truck. Looks very, very good. Keeps the bulk, because she is the largest of the Terrans, at least is the standard batch of Terrans. And it's a nice, slick alt mode. Beautiful shade of purple. She's nice and shiny now. Never mind Shockwave behind her. We'll get to Shockwave in a minute. This isn't about him. This is about hashtag's new drip. The weird thing about this is that they put so much focus on the truck mode that there was no real good reveal for her brand new robot mode, which has the same shapes and it's the same format, essentially, but a lot has changed now that her alt mode has changed. So we never really got, like, a good full body shot of it. We didn't get that, like, we didn't get the hero moment of her, like, transforming and this, like, camera panning up to give us a good view of the entire new robot mode. Late in the episode, we did get some good stills of it, though, so we do get to take it in. She is looking a lot sleeker, a lot less angular than she was as the Ghost fan. Nice look to her. Still really like how she looks. My only issue with this choice of alt mode is going to be the visor being, like, clear or milky white now. I don't think it shows as well as it did when it was blue. And I don't think, I think with the white face, I think it gets lost a little bit. So, like, I wish that had been a different color. That'd be, like, my only gripe. Everything else, I like how it looks. I think they did a pretty good job of redesigning. So that's her self-discovery arc. And yeah, it's a great one to have. It shows how much she's changed as a character since she first came online. She's less superficial. Well, I mean, she wants to look good, so don't get me wrong. But she actually does have some focus here. Like, a lot of her choices are based on wanting to protect her family and be, be the hero character, with everything that she wants. So this is a nice little happy point for her to show development, and I'm really glad they gave her a good episode. But that said, let's get back to Shockwave. So, through all of the recycling of old Ghost stuff, what Shockwave is after are the old hard drives from Croft's lab. And a lot of the hard drives are just same old, They've probably got, just copies of World of Warcraft on them or something. But he's looking for one in particular. He's looking for a very specific bit of information. And most of the chase sequence in this episode between him and hashtag. And it's really great, by the way, to see a Terran can go one-on-one with a Decepticon and come out on the winning end, by the way. That was really cool. A big aspect of this one is them fighting over a singular hard drive amongst stacks of dozens of them. To the point where we even get to see Ravage infiltrate Ghost/Autobot HQ in order to try and find them herself. We actually get Ravage gendered in this episode. Ravage is a female in this universe. Small detail because the character doesn't speak, but still worth noting. Now, through the course of the battle, I do mention the hashtag does win because she gets away with the hard drive. Shockwave did get a scan of it, though. You remember when Croft mentioned that there are things hiding under Witwicky that the Autobots did not know about, and all we got to see was a space bridge? Yeah, there's more than that. The Decepticons are somehow aware of it, and thanks to that scan, they just found it. That's ominous. It's a nice ominous note to leave off the episode on. Like I said, it's mostly about Hashtag and her little journey of discovery. Really like that aspect. And it's a really good focus episode for her. Really like how it turned out. However, we have a change of pace when it comes to the next episode. The next episode is called The Butterfly Effect, and it's a carnival episode. When I first turned this on, I watched this with a friend of mine. And when we first watch these episodes, like, we'll pause when we notice little Easter eggs hidden, and we like, oh, look, one of the rides looks like G1 Cosmos. Oh my god, it's like straight up G1 Cosmos, red button on the top of it all. Oh, that's a cool little reference. Yeah, reference. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, it's a carnival episode, which means fun and games. They stick to the original cast. So it's Mo, Robbie, and the original Terrans, Thrash and Twitch. So it's nice to see just like the OG4 getting a focus here. And it's just fun and games at the carnival. And even like letting Terrans get in on carnival games, which I'm glad to see. That's not like, well, they don't have like computer precision when it comes to throwing darts, for instance. The star of the circus, however, is... I want to make sure I get the name right because it's just because this is worth it. We are introduced to the Fair Maestro. And this might be one of my favorite new characters in Transformers. This one is a lot of fun. So he kind of serves as something of a replacement, kind of, for Mandroid, because his abilities are very much based on technological tricks. He's a bit of an illusionist, a bit of a showman. He is equal parts Riddler from DC and Mysterio from Spider-Man. Equal parts. And I like that, because I love both of those villains. This is a really good hodgepodge of the two. He's got some charm to him, and because of all of his techno tricks, which he puts in the guise of like magic illusionary effects, he makes for a really fun, if not minor threat. The fun part is watching him deal with Swindle at the beginning of the episode. So Swindle is Swindle, just like in G1, where he is willing to work with a human if it means getting some tech of his own or getting the advantage on something. So good to see that aspect of Swindle is retained. However, across all of his smuggled goods, illegally gained technology, and things that he shows off in his little tent of curiosities, he has an Ember Shard. Because of course he has an Ember Shard, which is going to kick off an episode-long attempt to gain said Ember Shard. But that's not the real thing going on here that's really causing the fun of the episode. No, that would be this. Robbie has his first crush. Now, ignore the plate of funnel cake with sardines on top. That's a whole weird thing. This is a new girl who just moved to town. Shares some similar traits to Robbie in that she's kind of uncomfortable being in a new place away from her old friends. So they kind of relate and bond over that, and Robbie spends most of the carnival hanging out with her, going off to play different games, rides, etc. It's very much, your first teen romance meeting kind of thing that depicts in these cartoons. And while it's cute, and it's fun to see Robbie in a new situation, that's not where the entertainment is drawn. It's this. Remember, Terrans and Mo and the Robbie are all emotionally connected through their bond from Quintus. So when one feels something emotional, the others feel it. That it has been anger, that has been happiness, and now it is butterflies. When you have butterflies in your stomach and you suddenly get like really nervous and excited because, girl, pretty, and you aren't there to see what the initial stimulus is, this is probably really weird. And because Robbie's off on his own having this not date with the new girl, they keep randomly experiencing it through the episode. And it's amazing, because the Terrans obviously have no idea what's going on. But, and then like Mo, she's older than she was in season 1, but she probably hasn't had her first crush yet. So this is a weird way of experiencing the emotion. It's fun to see a different aspect of that connection and how it can be more hijink oriented. We learned about another connection too. So once they start going after the Ember Shard, Thrash and Twitch actually get hit with restraint bolts, which actually causes Robbie paralysis. Which I didn't even realize that was a thing too. So fun to know that, you know, this thing even things like this go both ways. But yeah, they spend most of it together, and it's all the way until the final moment of the episode where we actually finally get, it's a running gag that he doesn't know her name. So he gets one last chance before the carnival ends. It's Isabel. Izzy. They make a not date for later. And it's kind of clear she's gonna be back. I would not be surprised to see her later in the season when new episodes are released. I'm looking forward to this. Because there's a lot of cool moments they could have. Speaking of, there are cool moments in this because Fair Maestro really comes across as a Batman and Spider-Man type villain. That actually allows the rest of the crew to actually get into some more superhero style hijinks, like sneaking around to save friends, confronting the bad guy, you know, trying to outwit and out-trick each other. Robbie even gets a moment like in front of his new friend to like explain what is going on very briefly, and to have that yes, I am Spider-Man kind of moment in front of her. However, there's a twist here, because of course even in a hijink comedy episode we still have to throw in something that pushes the dynamic and pushes what's going on here. This starts happening. And now this is confusing, you know, because the Quintus thing has not been pushed heavily in this season so far. Well, I guess with the Quintus on, that's notwithstanding. But new abilities have not really been explored. But this happens, and the result is this. A combination of Twitch and Thrash's alt modes to create something more of a Cybertronian flying cycle. Like, it's cool. It's weird. We've never seen Transformers actually transform like that before. Yeah, it's a new dynamic, which is something that apparently could only be pulled off through, what we'll later learn is just through very strong connection, which now makes sense why they chose the OG4 for this episode to demonstrate it, because of course those are going to be the most closely bonded. And it does lead to something I never thought I would get to see, which is a Cybertronian VTOL getting into a dogfight with a 1950s spaceship. Fun little scene for the climax. Oh, but guess what? Yeah, not a spaceship. Not really. It's an Autobot. It's an Autobot that got trapped by Fair Maestro a long time ago and hidden in the carnival. And guess what? It is, of course, a new version of Cosmos. And he big! Cosmos big in this series. Cosmos big and burly and voiced by Weird Al Yankovic. I love hearing Weird Al in Transformers. It's great to see him back in the franchise. This is a great pick. I love that when they bring in Weird Al, it's always for these more eclectic Autobot choices. So Wreck-Gar in animated, Cosmos now in Earthspark. Great choice of casting. Love to see it. He is apparently going off to join the other Autobots. I will go ahead and spoil it right now. He doesn't appear for the rest of the season, but, you know, like the likes of like Grimlock, Wheeljack, RC, I'm sure the point is for him to show up now and turn up later, so no surprise. Also, he's voiced by Weird Al, so you're probably going to keep him limited, because that's going to get expensive pretty quick. But it's a great inclusion. It's great to see Cosmos back in fiction again. Overall, it's a really fun episode. I mean, it is meant to be more comical in nature, but again, we are pushing the overall storyline of like the abilities that Quintus has given these two kids and what it means for the Terrans. It also shows us that there are still threats that are on the human level that are still a challenge for Autobots, or in this case, Terrans, to handle. So it doesn't necessarily mean like Mandroid-style threats are completely done with, and we can deal with challenges that aren't Decepticons, which is a great thing for a show like this to have in order to continue the, the dynamic that we've got going on here. So, I really, really like this episode. I like the mix of these two episodes. I like the idea. If we're going with any theme in these two episodes, it's discovery. Whether that is discovering yourself like Hashtag, discovering a love like Robbie, or just discovering new things about yourselves and your friends you didn't know about before. It's a nice set of two episodes with very contrasting styles to them, and I think that's why they work back to back. So, there you go. There is Season 2, Episode 3 and 4 for you. And with that, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.